Good morning, hello. I thought I would do a little something special. It's Monday, the day of the big conjunction we've all been talking about, and for good reason. How are you gonna feel this personally? I'd like to talk about that. I don't want to talk about the global stuff. I want to talk about us. Can we focus on each other for a second? I have some remedies. I'm not an expert in medical astrology, first and foremost, nor am I a physician. I was just raised by registered nurses my whole life, and I was unschooled. And I was left to pursue my own interests, which included their textbooks and books on herbs and medicine. In fact, I just dug this out. This is one of my first herbal books. It's the Science of Health and Healing, it's the Divine Prescription. But it's very biblical interlaced, very Seventh-day Adventist core. And I have disagreements with certain things in the book, but I just made touch with it again recently because I'm consulting it for certain reasons. But I'm digressing, but also giving you some background. I'm not a physician. I'm not an expert in medical astrology. I love personal astrology. I love studying people and personalities, and there's a lot of things that contradict each other when they come out, and you're looking at this printout or the report, and you're like, how do any of these things correlate to add up to this? I like, when I'm working with people and their charts, helping them understand those inconsistencies and how they make up the greater part of their personality, and how you can be both at once. Like, that's one of my favorite things to do. So I love breaking ties and helping abstract things come together. I love thinking outside of the box. So when it comes to my qualifications, this is me. So I love to study medical astrology, though, because of how I was raised. So, with all this heavy-duty stuff in Taurus, this encroachment of this heavy conjunction with Mars, Uranus, and Algol, this week, have you had tension of the neck and shoulders? Maybe you had a sore throat. Okay? This is because these things don't just happen in Taurus, they happen in Scorpio. If there's a heavy, I want to say this, backing it up. If there's a heavy aspect in one sign, a heavy transit, whatever, you're going to have to look at the opposite sign. Always. Alright? So what can happen with Taurus and Scorpio energy? Okay, Scorpio rules the digestion, basically excrement, shit, being able to detoxify your system, being consistent with your body that way. And Taurus rules the neck. There are a lot of lymph nodes in your neck, and your detoxification processes include the lymph nodes. And I don't see why that wouldn't be a connection between those two systems. So if you've been experiencing issues here, you're probably also having digestion issues. So get some kombucha, perhaps, or some cultures in your life again. Big recommendation, number one. But also, because this is a transit with Mars and Uranus, you're going to want to make sure you are exercising correctly, resting correctly. Hey girl, I'm dabbling in medical astrology and advice today, so I'm glad you came. You're actually a doctor. I'm just getting into Taurus and Scorpio energy. You have a Taurus moon opposite Pluto and Scorpio. So this is perfect for you to listen in on and catch the beginning of when you do. So I was just saying, there's a big conjunction in Taurus. It's in the later degrees. I posted 25 degrees, but somebody said it's at like 25 point something or other with the minutes, so it should be read as 26 degrees. Later half of Taurus and Scorpio is what we're looking at in your chart. If you know it, each house, when each chart would be different where this Taurus would land. But each house is a house of health. So it rules certain areas. So we can even hone this in even more, but I'm speaking in generalities, okay? Most people that I've, including myself, have had neck tension this week. I have Mars in Taurus, opposite Pluto and Scorpio. And I also have Saturn at late degrees of Scorpio, like 25-ish. So it's exactly opposite this stuff that's happening in Taurus. I know where it's hitting for me. This is absolutely, I could get sick, but I've been doing my preps and taking my herbs. Like, I'm feeling like pressure in my, I did a lymphatic massage this morning, but I'm still feeling like post-nasal drainage. I've been feeling like a little bit congested in my ear, right here, on the right. My masculine side is all tense, of course, because Mars is involved today. So, there's a lot of things we can do. Gathering all my thoughts. If you're having a sore throat, okay, neck tension. All right. Well, I showed you I posted a video yesterday regarding using barbells for massage on your traps and neck, but you have a man that would probably give you a bomb massage in those areas, so you probably don't have to worry about that. If you're privileged and have somebody else's hands, I'm so happy for you. But otherwise, I use barbells and I cup myself. I have some bruises back here right now. But remedies, movement, detoxification. Girl, I make so many things, and sometimes multiple times a day. Good luck catching up on my content. I don't know why I'm so prolific right now, but it just keeps getting worse. So we're rolling with it, or better. Anyway, I want to get to these remedies, but there's a lot to explain too. So let me get to Mars and Taurus. That would be, it literally says, I have Mars in Taurus. That's my natal. It's at 8 degrees. So this stuff already passed over my Mars. But yeah, have I been experiencing this personally? Bitch, please. Yes, absolutely. So, sore throat, tonsillitis, strep throat, hyperthyroid, laryngitis, pharyngitis, injuries to ears, nose, throat, neck, venereal disease, thrush, herpes of the mouth, acne due to toxins in colon, wounds to neck or any Taurus region. So, myself, I've been noticing like a white coating on my tongue, right? And I've been doing more research about that. This is regarding the mouth and throat. This just said thrush. I don't think it's full on thrush, but I do feel like, and I'm doing this, I've been drinking oregano and sage myself because I feel like I'm having an imbalance in my gut health. I'm also drinking a lot of gelatin right now to help restore my gut lining. I'm doing a lot of teas. Okay, so my first recommendation for if you're noticing any sort of like tension blockages, congestion, this is what I'm doing. Sage, oregano, mullein, honey. Raw honey, cool honey. I also put it in my tea, but I also make sure to put some in my mouth as well, because heating it up ruins some of the therapeutic properties. So I just hit both. It's going to get in there either way. So what else? So because Uranus is involved, this is where we start to have to look at our nervous system and our electric systems, how things are firing, making sure we are getting our electrolytes. Sometimes I've noticed myself lately through this transit, I've been insanely eating a lot of fruit, raw fruit, even though I've been told raw fruits and vegetables aren't the best for my digestive system because I lack enzymes. I've been really attracted to it because of the electrolytes in it. For me, I feel like I've been absorbing it easier sometimes, quicker than water. So I've been enjoying a lot of watermelon, cherries, grapes, berries, blueberries, frozen blueberries with lemon squirted on it, lime. Anything else? I mean, I'm having my sweet potato, but that gets somewhat cooked. I don't cook it soft. Avocados, bananas, mangoes. I've been eating a lot of fresh fruits, but I feel like it's helping balance my electric systems and keeping my body, electric systems, my nervous systems soothed. She said, good question. My friend just said, Ashley just said, side note, I heard the other day that Taurus is lazy, off topic, but is that typical or not? Well, that's just trite, honestly. Taurus energy can get called lazy, but it's not accurate because they're extremely hardworking. You don't see the many tiny things Taurus energy does, like today, for instance, to prepare for tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day in advance. Taurus is a planner, preparer, builder. Most people can't see those things Taurus does every day in advance to prepare themselves. So when they start to rest, from the outside perspective, it looks like a Taurus is just being lazy. When in reality, they've been consistent. Taurus is the most consistent sign, consistently building towards something and consistently working on something to the point they make it look easy. But it's not. I've been called lazy as a child my whole life, but I had an enormous amount of responsibility put on my shoulders, and I also needed time to play. I wasn't really allowed to play as a kid. So that's why I'm like this now. But anyway, more remedies for this Uranus thing. Okay, so electrolytes. Fruit, good. Your sleep might be erratic. So again, this gut thing, you'd really want to work on making sure you're soothing everything, because this could quickly imbalance your serotonin levels. So anything, you can do your research. I'm not an expert on what can protect and increase your serotonin levels. I know sunshine does a great deal of good. So I would say absolutely do that, and moving your body would help it increase its endorphins, but also help detox through sweat and any other sort of movement that needs to be had. So I would say the reason I'm mentioning fruit is because it increases your fiber as well. So it has electrolytes and it will help things continue to move out your system that don't need to be there. So you see how things work. Okay, so what else? What else did I not mention? Mullein. Okay, so if you're experiencing body tension, like muscle tension that won't go away, depending on how bad it is, you might want to use a conjunction of kava kava with kratom. Unless you are the type of person that has cleaned up from drugs in the past, if this is going to be a trigger for you, you might want to avoid these alkaloids that just will not go away. And if you are okay with using plant medicine respectfully and making sure that you're not being a jackass with it, not doing it recreationally, but only as needed, those two things can help soothe muscle tension of like the large muscles and the smooth muscles too. The only thing I would say is be careful at times. Some people experience, I've never have, but some people can block, it can cause constipation, the kratom. So be careful with that. Keep that in mind. High amounts of magnesium, potassium, all this is your best friend. Sodium, don't be afraid to salt your food a little bit more if you're craving it, but please be using a good quality sea salt, like Celtic sea salt or Redmond's salt, or a gray salt is good, Florida salt is good, any sort of nutrient-rich salt would be better than anything iodized or regular table salt. I posted, like, again, I'm going to reiterate, I posted that barbell smash video yesterday because of this muscle tension issue. There's a lot of things you can do for this stuff, but stretching, I've been doing a lot of stretching my upper body because I got some really great advice from Paul Bryson, because, like, honestly, I've been neglecting all of that, and it was a really good assessment, so I'm glad to get back on my game about that. So yeah, like, this neck tension thing is real, but there's a complication at hand in general. On July 20th, Mars will be moving into Gemini. We might have more issues with breathing. If you've been sick, if you're starting to teeter on the edge of illness this week, if you feel like you're getting bacterial or viral, start the sage oregano teas. You might want to include garlic, because coming up the following week on the 20th of July, we have Mars moving into Gemini, like I just said, but that rules the lungs. It could get complicated, more complicated, so you want to keep your lungs clear. Include the mullein, drink mullein, sage, oregano. It's gonna taste like crap. I'm not sorry. Medicine isn't supposed to always taste good, but honey is a good friend of yours if you're not in favor of how those things taste. But trust me, you're going to be really happy to incorporate these things. Once I started taking these every day and my asthma started to get better, I was like, oh, fuck. So I needed this a long time ago. But these herbs that are nice and bitter will help. Side note, if you have mold in your house like I do, this could help cleanse mold. Some of these bitter herbs can also, do your own research, help clear parasites. So we're not talking about that right now. However, if you have gut problems and you're also got some pretty heavy Scorpio placements, you might want to pay attention to your digestion and to see if you do have any parasites. Mold will be interesting. So once Mars moves into Gemini, we'll also be looking at tension in the hips and thighs area, because Sagittarius is the opposite of where Mars will be, and that will be causing tension in potentially in both areas. So hopefully I'm making sense. Medical astrology is kick-ass. I would love to do more medical astrology readings officially. So if anybody's watching this and likes the idea, it would be really fun. You know, I get bored doing the same type of astrology over and over. I like draconic astrology too, if people want to get a deep soul reading. But I get it. Money can be an issue. I'm worth it though. Anyways. Reiterating from the top. Tension. We're going to be experiencing tension and issues detoxing. So you'll want to be using things like foam rollers, barbells like I just showed, a lacrosse ball, hydrating, making sure you have electrolytes, using things like tea to help with certain ailments, super wise to do. Support your body during this time because it's not just global events that are out of control. Sometimes things can happen to our bodies too that feel out of control, but we can prevent them with little actions to take. So that's why I'm here, because I love prevention. This is what I do at home. Every night I assess how I feel right before bed, and I make myself a nighttime tea, blending loose herbs together. And I have a French press that I use exclusively for teas. And I stay on top of my body, and I also medicate using, stinging nettle every day to make sure that my periods, when that comes once a month, isn't as much of a drag. You know, these herbs have multiple uses, and I'm always in my herb cabinet, and it's growing too. So maybe I'll be talking about stuff like this more, maybe if it's interesting. But if these videos are too long, people don't like that either. How do you not though? Like, there's a lot of content here. So again, this says, I just flipped open to Uranus and Taurus. Okay, thyroid disorders, hearing anomaly, tinnitus, vocal cord anomaly, atlas bone, that's deep in your ear, cervical displacement. I think atlas bone is in your, I might be wrong. Is the atlas bone, Ashley, in your ear, or is it in your neck? Oh, wait, maybe it is in your neck because it's holding up your cranium. Maybe I'm dumb. T&J, glandular disorder, weird dental problems. Okay, so if your teeth are hurting, thank Uranus and Taurus. You might be grinding your teeth. Fuck. I definitely feel a lot of tension in my masseter muscles. So maybe get your gua sha out. Pay extra attention to your throat. I would say rub below your collarbone, above your collarbone, and then go up behind your ears. Do your face. Make sure neck. Okay, thank you, Ashley. Atlas bone in your ear. I'm not a medical professional, but I'm approximately. I know esoterics a lot easier than I know A&P, let me tell you that. Well, I'm glad you're here, Ashley. This is a big day in astrology. I don't remember what your degrees are at all for your moon and Pluto, but you're going to be feeling this. So, good luck on the detoxing and the tension. It is what it is. Okay. I'm having fun being here, but I don't know why I was just shuffling. Maybe I'll pull a card. Whatever, man. Start at your 0 point. Try to get to the closest to your 0 point as possible. There is zero. I mean, the only thing you can't control the circumstances around you, but you sure can control how you take the journey. Get to know yourself, take care of your body, prevent things that you can control. But outside of that, you're just going to have to take some blind leaps of faith and see where you go in life. Blank slates, you know, act like you've never been traumatized before, for fuck's sake. It's kind of fun. So, that's it for now. I wonder who's going to watch this because it's so long. I'm glad you came, Ashley. I love you so much. I love everybody here and everybody who's watching later.